So you want me to talk about what we did on the roof trip? Yes? Okay.
Can you remember that far back?
So once upon a time, a long time ago, there was a man who bought a really old JCPenney building that needed a very new roof.
It's a lot of berries.
So back in June, late June, you probably recall hearing something about us heading to Montana to fix the roof on the townhouse.
We got our first load going to Montana to go repair our roof.
That's pretty much was going to be a 2-week trip because we were ready to go. So we headed for Montana. I had all the stuff. Mandy worked really hard on getting all the stuff lined up. Learned all about roofing, TPO, mechanical versus glue, heat welding with hot air welders and water and stuff. And we hit the road, took Rattler, whole bunch of mattresses. But long story short, it took a lot longer.
In 2 weeks.
Than 2 weeks. It took us over 2 weeks just to get the old roof off.
Yeah, I'd like to think maybe we can get a roof trip today. We'll be doing it for, I would imagine, at least 2 or 3 more days. It's been, I don't know how long. It's been 2 weeks.
And that sucked. Right? Yeah?
Well, yeah, I wasn't even there for most of the teardown, but yeah, it looked pretty rough. But no, for me, the trip, like I say, I wasn't there for the first half, but the second half I was there till the end, or most of the end. I guess you and Cassie were there for about a week after that.
It didn't feel like you were there at the end. Yeah, it kind of felt like it was just me and Cassie.
But yeah, so the trip drug out way longer than planned, but we got it all done. I think it ended up taking, 2 months? 2.5 months?
Well, I know we left before July, and it was probably August when I got back. So
yeah,
I'm not going to say it took over 2 months, but it took really close to 2 months. Yeah, I'd say probably 7 weeks or something like that.
And that's just one small sliver of what we actually have to do to that building. So
yeah, honestly, sometimes it probably comes across that we're a little naive on some of this stuff, but I don't really think I am. Maybe I'm a little over ambitious. It's kind of like, my appetite is bigger than my stomach type of a thing. I know we're capable of doing this. I know it's going to be a lot of work. I know we sometimes talk about it like, yeah, we'll just do that, and when you get down to it. But what I need more than anything is we need to eliminate a lot of distraction and have a crew working on that is their job.
yeah,
That's probably the biggest thing that I would say that was hardest on me is we get up there and we're just working like dogs. I mean, just working. And meanwhile, every single day I'm having to live with the knowledge that I'm failing on so many fronts that I can't impact because I'm sitting there building on that. And that's why I think a lot of this seems like it might be taking long. Like, a whole year went by, we wanted to have 10 Brewsters and we're gonna end up having 3. But I think what you gotta understand and what you gotta see is, yes, but we will have successfully constructed the plan on building Brewsters, and we have a plant in Montana that's gonna be building Brewsters. So we're really setting ourselves up so that I'll be able to work on all of that stuff without us having to feel bad because we're not moving forward with the Brewsters. Mm-hmm. And we came to that conclusion before I went up there to do the roof. Honestly, the roof was just us saying it has to be done.
right.
Everything else, it takes a year. Brewsters are more important. And we did put that kind of priority on that. So, but the roof taking longer, I don't know. Looking back, I was just completely out of my mind to think that I ever could have done that roof in 2 weeks. But a month probably would have been a bit more accurate goal, and we would have still blown that out. Certain things we didn't know, and that's going to happen on every project, including that one all the way through. I think what I left that build and that trip with was an attitude saying, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want the builds to be scheduled. I don't want there to be, we're going to do this because I got to be here for this. And that's all my life ever is unreasonable schedules. Right now, I'm in the middle when I'm up here shooting this video. It's now 2 o'clock. I got Pete wanting me to do an interview at 2. So it's going to be 3 o'clock before I pick up a tool today. And I have got the tightest 2-week deadline. I mean, I'm completely remodeling the downstairs of this building. And that's what all my life is I'm jumping from one deadline to another deadline to another deadline, but yet they're not letting me leave my role as founder and CEO. So Mandy, don't get me wrong, you're doing a fantastic job. I'll say it in front of the video. You've changed a lot in the last 6 months.
Got video evidence. Your
attitude, the way you carry yourself and handle yourself, but there's just so much. So what can I say about trip number 2? It was needed, it was necessary, it was painful, and it was very revealing as to what we were really setting ourselves up for. And again, I don't want to say, I was just naive. I don't think I was. I knew this was going to be a lot of work, but we've always rose to that challenge.
Dad did a lot of research prior to us putting this roof in, and based on the research, it's the best product for what we were doing. And I believe it'll hold up for, hopefully, I think the goal is 20 years. I don't know if it'll last 20 years, but that's what we're hoping for.
I have concerns. I mean, I do, but I'm sure it'll be fine. Honestly, the concerns that I have are just things that I would do differently now if I knew then what I know now. Don't know that we'll never do a roof of that magnitude again. I mean, the video don't really do it justice, guys, but this is a 7,000 square foot roof. That is massive for a couple guys and a few girls to tackle, and the stripping of it, everything. But the areas that I'm concerned about, I think I covered a little bit in past videos. I don't know if it made the cut, but not thrilled with how I had to seal around the air vents. Would have worked a lot harder to find myself a TPO air vent, I think, one that you could weld down. But I couldn't have done any better. I mean, we put on 3 layers of stuff, and so the biggest disappointment, I think, you're supposed to be able to go over the top of TPO with certain brands of the silicone liquid roof gel coat, and I plan to do that. I did research on it, so I got all excited. I said, no problem. I'll just flash them in with this stuff, and I did a really good job of it. But I went up there the next day, and it like peels off of it like in sheets, and you're just like, oh shit, that's not good. So I went and did some more research, and I found somebody else who would tell me the truth. And they say, yeah, it'll stick, but you don't put it on there until it's been up there for like 4 years. Then you gel coat it, because it takes the shininess away from the roof. You go up there and you pressure wash it real good, and you treat it and do this, and then you put the gel coat on. So now I gotta wait 4 years and hopefully have no issues, and then I can go up there, and then I will be completely satisfied with how my roof turns out. But the gel coat's kind of a cool idea, because it takes a roof that's supposed to be good for like 20 years and it adds like 10 years to it or something like that. So couldn't have done a better job.
You're gonna gel coat the whole thing?
I think so.
Jeez.
If I'm still around, I want to make sure I don't have to go back up there again. But ultimately, what I'm getting at here with that is, there's things that I worry about, but that's me. I worry. I haven't heard a peep. It's been 6 months, so I'm pretty sure we'd have heard if it was leaking anywhere. Can't see how it can. The only place I'm worried about is around those stupid vents. Then the longevity of it. Don't like some of the wrinkles that formed up on top of the walls, but that was just a bugger. I mean, number one, we did that as an all-nighter, which was just trying to beat the heat. The heat was so bad. But no, all in all, we didn't cut any corners. We did everything right. I don't know how we could have done any better. Mm-hmm. I believe that building is going to be high and dry for 20 years. Now we just got to deal with the brick.